All right, I always like these little dungeon rooms because you never know what you're going to find tucked away in here. So let's take a look over here. Hey Daisy! Hey, is it time to go treasure hunting? Hey, what's going on everyone? It is cold, it is wet, it is icy, it is early in the morning, but that's not stopping me. I am going out to an estate sale. It's in an old area of Syracuse, so I'm excited to see what's there. Looks like there's a lot of stuff based on the description and some of the pictures that I saw online. So we're gonna go over there right now, check that out, and see if we can find any treasures. So here's a little tip. Whenever you're in a development where there are houses painted a color like this, these kind of like teal colors or pink colors, you know you're probably in a good area to do some sourcing. So we're almost there. Now, here's the funny thing. I actually was at that exact house a couple of weeks ago where I picked up a butterfly nightlight for Jesse's shops. I didn't film it because there's only a couple things left by the time I got there. But the house that I need to go on is actually, if we turn right here, it's actually right on this road. So you could see these nice old houses and stuff. There's some 1 levels, 2 levels, like a nice mixture. But we're almost there, so let's just get parked and head on in. So this actually isn't that bad compared to the normal estate sale company dealer estate sales that I go to. This one is just one that's run, it looks like by a family or maybe just a small company, not one that has a big clientele base. You can see that's why there's only a few people that are lined up right now. So that's the Primetime Treasure Mobile secret spy cam right there that I'm using. So anyway, we're gonna go get in that line and head on in there. Just got in, right to the basement. All right, let's take a look back here. Oh, this is cool. Look at that, Sugar Ray Leonard poster. I mean, it's pretty beat up, but I don't know. I'm gonna take a look around. We got a little Batman picture frame here. All right, take a look. No! Okay, there was nothing good in that room. I left the Sugar Ray Leonard poster. It was just too damaged, but this room looks a little more promising. So I'm gonna just take a look around and see if we get anything out of here. This one looked promising, but the back is just too damaged. You see all this dirt and moisture damage. This stuff is not gonna wipe off. This is just caked into here. So I'm just gonna leave this one. Now, one of the things below this, there was a stack of books, and this was the one on the bottom. And this Message of the Quran book, which is in great shape, this one will easily go for 20. This stamp on the side, it's not a library stamp. It says compliments of the Council of American Islamic Relations. That's fine. This is good. This is a nice easy 20 bucks right here. So just toss this in the box. That's why you gotta go through these boxes, because there's a little Jets hat hidden inside of here. It's dust that we could just wipe this off, so just gotta give it a good cleaning. This is for Primetime Junior. He loves these crazy dinosaurs, so I'm gonna pick this one up for him. And here it is with just some of the dust wiped off of it. You can see it already looks a lot better just by doing that. It's already got 4 hats. Oh, nice vintage Marlboro one, like a little corduroy look on it. So I like that. So it's 5 hats. This is weird enough that I like it. So I'm gonna pick this up. Okay, this is one that I just pulled out from down there in the back. Anytime you see anything 1998 Yankees or World Champions, pick it up. It's a very special time for Yankees fans, and I'm gonna pick this one up. Just gotta wipe the dust off. This would be about a $20 ornament. So I can't tell you how many people have walked in and out of this room just saying there's nothing here, it's all junk, nothing here, all junk. Well, you got to get down and you've got to squat in certain areas. And if I could do this at 6'6", 250 pounds, so could everybody else. And you got to look under stuff, like under these papers here. You see we've got this nice old Coca-Cola truck tin. That's not worth a fortune, but something like this could go for 20, 25 bucks. So just gonna pick this up and take a look inside, make sure that it's not too rusted out or anything, and it's pretty decent. So you want to check the hinges on these things, make sure the wires aren't popped out, but this is good. Just clean it up a little bit and add it to the box. You look through these newspapers because you never know what you're gonna find. Like for example, right here, you could see this is the full newspaper from when Syracuse won the national championship in basketball in 2003. So this is beautiful. If you're a Syracuse fan, this is something that you would absolutely love to have. Jerry McNamara right there. Just really, really awesome. Pretty much mint condition paper. So gonna add this one to the mix as well. Okay, this is a broader view of what I was just digging through, and now we're gonna go through this area here, see if there's any treasures there. So I was just clearing out some space here to put my box up here, and found this underneath. Another example of stuff that might look like junk, but it's not. These watercolor blocks go easily for $30 to $40. So it doesn't matter that it has a few little scuffs on there. What people really want are the water blocks, and this is not used, as you can tell. So 30 to 40 bucks sitting right there. Everyone's walking out thinking this is all just junk in here. It may look like it's all junk, but it's not. So I suggest when you're working in a messy situation like this with tight quarters that you follow a flow. Like I was following a flow all the way around the room like this, and then just moving things over. I want some area to be able to move around. So I've got to clear this dirty stuff out, and I could push it over here no problem because I already did this area. So that's what we're gonna do. Give myself a little space to move. I got my box right there. So then I could go through this much easier without having to worry. And for those of you eagle eyes who saw this and are wondering, this is the Max Sense Fun Stick. If it worked, it may be worth around 15, but I have no way to test it. I'm not gonna mess with it. It's not worth me picking this up. Okay, I will never pass up on free shipping supplies. I always say this is a great way to get these at estate sales. They just toss them in. I use these all the time to ship out things like comics, magazines, softcover, thin books. So always grab these when you can. Also, make sure you're opening up dresser drawers. This is pretty cool. I like these little small ones here, these small screwdrivers. Nice little small tips that I'm going to add to my blue bag of tools because it will help me get into some smaller screw heads sometimes. So I'm just going to toss this in here. All right, nothing else here for me. I've checked everything out, and it is time to move on. So there is an upstairs area, but as you can see, there's just not much in these rooms. So we're probably going to be heading out of here soon. The basement, which is what I always say to look at first if you don't know anything else, is where all the treasures really were here. Okay, this is the last room to look through, and there's electronics here. So I'm going to go through these, just make sure nobody left anything too valuable. Right off the bat, I do see some good headphones by COS or COS. As you can see here, they're Pro 4AA. These would be around $30 headphones. So I'm gonna pick these up and I'm gonna toss them in the box here. And then I'm just gonna look through these other things as well. So this is why you have to test these things out a little bit before you purchase them. This one here, it does turn on, which is good, but unfortunately the eject button here is busted and that's gonna be a problem. You can see this just falling right off of here. So just gonna leave this one here. It would have been good if it worked and everything. This is something that could go for 70 bucks plus shipping, but this one's kind of busted. So gonna leave it here. Can't even get the tape out of this thing. It's jammed in there. Now, here's a different model. This is the Sony TC-FX25. This one, even if it did work, I'm not even gonna bother testing it, would be $25 plus 12 bucks shipping. Not worth it. Same thing with this one, even if it worked, 20 bucks plus shipping, not worth it.
All right, we're out of there. How much did I get everything in that box for? A whopping $10 for everything. There you see, there is the cash receipt. So I'm excited about this. This is a very easy box to profit from. There's treasures to be found. You just have to dig, you just have to look, and don't let the other people in there, you know, say things that are gonna psych you out and make you think that there's nothing, you know, worthwhile to find. Ignore that stuff, tune that stuff out, trust your own skills and the own knowledge that you have acquired, and go through that stuff and find all the stuff that those people missed. So there is at least one other estate sale we are gonna try to hit up right now. It is on the way back to Primetime Treasure headquarters. So it's about 20 minutes away. Let's head on over and see if there's anything good in there. But you know what? Even if there isn't, I'm good with what we have right now, but we'll go check it out.
And this is what I was talking about earlier when I was saying, you know, look for these older houses with these, you know, bright colors like this. Like we've got the greens and the yellows and stuff, and like the blue, like I showed you earlier. That's something to look for. That again, you're in a great area, great neighborhood where there are vintage treasures to be found. A lot better than lemonade stands. Okay, here we are, right at the second one, right down the street here. All right, so that gray house there, that's the one that we are gonna hit up here. This freezing rain is annoying, makes it a little more challenging to get around, but anyway, you can see here we've got a bunch of cars lined up. This estate sale started at 10 o'clock and it's 11:55, so see if anything's left. Yeah, it's definitely a nice map, but 50 bucks and the sticker is stuck on there pretty good, which is also a problem. I don't like when they do that, so that might cause some damage trying to pull that one off. So I headed over to the garage area, and this is a pretty nice piece here. Pretty amazing to see this in the box, and it's never been opened. This is the 1969 Hot Wheels Sizzlers National Champ race set. And the price for this is actually reasonable considering what we'll go for. So 30 bucks isn't bad considering that one of these recently sold for $150 plus $20 shipping. So, and there's not one on the market right now. So you could safely price this for $199.99 and see where it goes from there. You could see on the side here, this just has not been opened before. It is firmly affixed here in terms of the cardboard all the way around. Same here as well. Now, it does have some peeling away and stuff, but that's just because of the age. But this does not look like it has been opened before. So this looks like factory tape right here. So pretty amazing. Gonna definitely pick this up. Okay, so I was looking at this tape a little bit more closely and peeled it up because I started to doubt that it was actually factory sealed tape, even though it looked that way to me initially. It turns out that this probably has been opened before, but as you could tell here, These pieces look in pretty decent shape. Looks like everything is mostly here. The one that sold for $150 plus $20 shipping was one that actually had been opened and had some missing parts. So this looks to be pretty good. So for 30 bucks, again, I'm gonna jump on this. And by the way, I know this is Hot Wheels, and so that's a recognizable name, but as I've mentioned before, if you find any vintage Mattel toys, especially if they're in the box, definitely look into picking those up if you get it for the right price. You know, I normally don't pay $2 per book, but these are so cool, these vintage social studies books. Some of you watching this may even remember them. I could even combine them together in a lot. They're both made by or authored by Hamer right here. Look at the colors on these. They're just really, really nice. Beautiful examples of old history. And so I'm definitely going to pick these up for $2 a piece. And like I said, I could even lot them together, but these are in like mint condition. This one's from 1962. And then this one over here is probably from right around that same time frame. I'll just check right here. Let's see. Actually 1953. So we got a 50s one and a 60s one. And again, I mean, look at the colors on that. That's just beautiful. Someone would get this for nostalgic reasons. They might remember having this history book when they were younger. If this is something anyone sees and is interested in, let me know and I'll put it up for you. Cool piece. Uh-oh, an old granny room. I don't like these kind of rooms. I never really find anything in these places. So I know Jesse's shops would love them, but it's not for me. I'm gonna head out of here. There's no basement. Looks like that Hot Wheels toy and the 2 books are probably the main things to get. Okay, so a couple little tips, right? So it's raining, it's wet, it's nasty out, that sort of stuff. When you're carrying out something this size, you might not always have something to put over it to prevent it from getting a little bit wet. So that's why I always carry a towel with me. Now I've had this towel with me, my money towel, ever since I started picking 20 years ago. I used to run in Florida to the post office with it over my head to protect me from the rain. And when I used to run in, they used to call me D-Money when I came in. So I have had the money towel ever since. It always gives me good luck. And just wipe this down real quick. Now, a couple things to tell you about this. Really one main thing is that this was really sitting there for that long for one main reason: size. People get nervous about things that are this big in terms of how much it's going to cost to ship. But this is why you have to check the comps, because for a $30 price tag, if this sells for around $200, which I believe it will, then even worst case scenario, let's say this costs $40 to ship, you're still gonna make over $100 on the item. So don't worry about that type of stuff. All right, I couldn't resist. I went back to Primetime Treasure headquarters to pick up Primetime Jr. He loved his monster, by the way. Brought him to basketball practice, and turns out there's an estate sale 6 minutes away from the practice. So there's only about an hour left to it, and it was open yesterday on Friday. So we're just gonna peek in and see if there is anything left here. So let's go park and take a look. This is the house right here. And as you can see, especially if you're new, sometimes they call it a house sale, but it means the same thing as an estate sale. Start off the basement again. All right, I always like these little dungeon rooms because you never know what you're gonna find tucked away in here. So let's take a look over here. So sometimes you'll find these old food products here, and I like these. You sell them as collectibles, not for anything that someone's gonna consume, but people like to put these as decorations in basically makeshift vintage pantries, and they like to have these, and especially if they're filled up like this and complete. This thing is hard as a rock. Here's another nice vintage grocery item, not quite as old, but this one is filled up, complete, never opened. It's a vintage caffeine-free Sprite. I know these date back to the 1980s because I used to stock refrigerators filled with these when I used to work at a convenience store. So they bring back memories for me, and they might bring back memories for somebody else. So I'm gonna pick this one up as well. And again, look down low because there's some more here as well. So pick up this one and this one. Too bad it's not Crystal Pepsi, or we'd really be in the money. So you want to make sure you're digging on the bottom of these boxes, because right underneath all those books, I wound up getting a bunch here. So this Winnie the Pooh one, this one's pretty cool. Dates back to 1944. I think these are all 40s books. This alphabet one here, 1943. The Bright Eye book, 1941. Still has the eye in there, so each of the animals get the same eye. It's pretty cool. Bow tie book. Still has the bow tie in it. And the Three Little Pigs, that one dates back to 1942. So these are cool. You could try to sell them individually or as lots. These are just nice, really have the bright original colors still intact, so I love that. These are nice pieces. So pick these up as well. Add it to the small box here. I always like to pick up these big vintage oversized golden books, so these are cool as well. This one dates back to 1971, but it's in great shape. There's no big stains or anything like this. And I find a bunch of these at different sales, so you could just combine them together, lot them, or sell them individually. Just depends on what they sell for per unit. If we turn over here, one of the things I like to look for are reference books with slip covers. And you could see this one right here, Roget's Thesaurus and Vocabulary Builder. So this one will sell for around 40 bucks with shipping, somewhere around there. So this is a good one to pick up and throw in the box. This is another company to be on the lookout for, Make It and Bake It. These stained glass sun catchers, these date back to the 80s. And these will generally go for around 25. So especially with it being unpunched like that, you can see right there, never was even on the shelf. So it's a good one to just toss right in there. And in case you're wondering, no, this does not sell. As you can see, most of the rooms have been pretty well picked through. All right, let's call it a wrap and head on back.
So heading over to that estate sale was good, just to reinforce the point that you could still find treasures at the end of estate sales. Doesn't matter that that was going on for 2 days. There were still things there to be found. You just need to know where to look and what to look for. So the estate sale dealers even said to me at the end that they could not believe that I found these books from the 1940s because they were sitting next to them for 2 days in that box, but they never bothered to look at the bottom of the box. And I keep reinforcing this point over and over, but you need to look at the bottom of boxes, at the bottom of shelves, because that's where things get laid down first historically. So if you want to get the oldest stuff, you have to get down to the bottom. Things on the bottom also tend to have the advantage of being preserved by the things that are on top of them, just as long as the things put on top are not things that could obviously cause damage. Like you wouldn't want something, you know, spiky and sharp to be on top of these books. But you know, these books were, you know, turns out they're in pretty great shape. I mean, look at this Winnie the Pooh book from the 1940s. I mean, this is in really nice shape. Now, it's not worth a fortune. I probably get like 10 bucks out of this if I sold it individually. But what I will most likely do, since I have 5 total from the 1940s right over here, all in pretty similar condition, is I could just lot them together, put them up for $49.99, and just send them out all at one time, and I could put offers on because I wound up getting everything for a great price. This one I would consider separate because it's from the 1970s, but I wound up getting all of those books plus the thesaurus set with the vocabulary builders, the Make It and Bake It sun catchers right here, plus the 3 Sprite bottles, 1, 2, 3, and this cool bag of wheat paste from the dungeon area. So I like to get that. All of that total for right here. I'll show you. I don't want to show the last name because it's on the signature, but total of $5 for everything. So can't beat that, and that's the advantage of going to the end of the sales, because you know you could really get some blowout deals like that. All right, so we are back, and this really was the treasure find of the day. So I'm super excited about this. I'm really glad that I decided to open it up, because the last thing that I want is for somebody to purchase this thinking that it is factory sealed and then opening it up and realizing that it's pre-owned. That person would almost definitely return the item in that situation, and so definitely don't want that to happen. So turns out, looking inside of it, once we got back here to Primetime Treasure headquarters, the pieces really look nice. I'll just give them a little bit of a light cleaning, but as you can see here, they really look good. I mean, this is the Sizzlers Power Pit. Really looks nice. The stickers and everything are on here, really clean. This as well, and you know, I showed you before, like the tracks inside look like they're really in great shape, and some of them don't even look like they've been used, the way they were stacked and taped together. So again, happy about this, and I'm gonna put this up for $200 as soon as I get it organized and take the photos. Just a few examples of some things I could show you that sold today, starting from lowest to highest. I'll just show you 3 things here. This is one of these books that I showed you when I did the comic book storage unit content unboxing. So I have a lot of these fantasy role-playing game type books up in my eBay store right now. This is one example. This one's sell on the lower end. This one sold for $12.50. Some of them sell for 20 bucks. In fact, that would be about the average, is somewhere around 20, but there are some that sell for more than that. I just sold one the other day for 55, 60 bucks, so it just depends. Look for the title Ravenloft, by the way. Has like a Dracula character on it. Those sell really well, depending on which ones that you have. So another thing I wound up selling today are some salt and pepper shakers. Now, I purchased a lot of 100 salt and pepper shakers a few months ago for $90 off of a Craigslist ad that I posted. If you're curious about how to set these types of ads up, I did a video on this a few weeks ago, so you could go and check that out. But the goal was to turn that $90 investment into approximately $2,000 in gross sales by trying to sell each one for an average of $19.99. So approximately 20 bucks per salt and pepper shaker, realizing some would sell for a little bit more and some would sell for a little bit less. And that's generally been what has happened. On average, they are selling for about $20. Sometimes they sell really fast, and sometimes it takes a little bit, maybe a month or so. This is a good example of something I had to sit on for a little bit, but I didn't mind because I knew the right person was going to come along on these. These really cool dolphins here. First of all, people just generally love dolphins. They love aquatic stuff, but these specifically say Water Slide World on it from Lake George. And if you're from this area, you may have gotten there before because the place opened in 1979. It closed a couple of years ago. And once it closed, that pretty much put an instant nostalgia demand into the place, that people are going to look for some stuff there to get some memories back and to have something physical, tangible that they could hold on to. So I knew I just had to wait for the right person who either wanted to have something like this for themselves, a souvenir of some sort, and go to eBay and start looking for stuff. And there's really not much available there. I saw a pennant once that sold, but not these shakers or anything like that. So I knew it was a pretty unique set of items that I had here, and so just had to wait for the right person. Someone came along, purchased them for 20 bucks, so doing very well with those. And then the only other thing I want to show you right now is a Funko Pop that sold today, because people keep saying that Funko Pops don't sell, and I just keep laughing about that, because they do sell. You just need to make sure you have the right ones. You need to find ones that are either limited, ones that come from really popular series that people want, like Game of Thrones is a perfect example. Ones that have really, really desirable characters that everyone is looking for. Ones that are exclusives. They usually have a sticker on the front, although that's not always a guarantee if they made too many of the exclusives and if it's of a bad character. So it does depend. Exclusives are not always a guarantee. But if you could find ones that are vaulted of popular characters, vaulted is a Funko Pop term that means it's retired, then you probably have a pretty good piece on your hand. And this would be a great example. This is the Nemesis character from the Resident Evil video game. Very popular. Even with this having some damage, some scuffing, some scratches, a piece of tape on the bottom that shouldn't be there. This one sold within hours for 50 bucks. Now, I picked this up for less than $2. So definitely a great sell there. So wound up being a great day overall. Some treasures sold, more treasures brought in. So I'm looking forward to getting some of this stuff processed and put up. If there's something that you saw here that you liked, that you enjoyed, make sure you comment on that down in the comment section. If there's something you're interested in acquiring, let me know. I always make that a priority to list for you. So before we end this video, I'm going to make sure I go over and I see Daisy and say hello to her. She always gives me a nice warm welcome every single day when I come home. It's the most adorable thing. I absolutely love that dog so much. She's so cool, and I know many of you are Daisy fans too, so thank you for that. So I'll give you a little insight into some of the hellos she gives me when I get back. But before I go over to that, just make sure that if you like the video, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you check out some of the other videos. Hit the bell icon up top to alert you for when I go live. You won't want to miss me go live with Craigslist Hunter this week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 29th. Make sure you come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, and make sure you come to my Instagram account. That's @prime_time_treasure. Let's go see Daisy, and then I'll see you at the next video, everyone. Take care. Hello, great to be back home after a hard day of treasure hunting, Daisy. Thanks for giving me a big hug, Daisy. I appreciate it. Thanks, Daisy, for that nice hug. You're always so welcoming. Aw, you're always so welcoming when I come home. Thank you.